It's no secret real estate prices have skyrocketed in Southwest Florida this last decade. It seems like we hear about big dollar land deals on a regular basis, price tags often hitting hundreds of millions of dollars. Much of what's happening to the land now dates back to a relatively short time ago, about 60 years or so. Still, the people who developed this area leave a memorable legacy. But as WGCU's Mike Walcher reports, it might also come at a cost to the land, water, and wildlife.
This tale starts with so much untouched land and the sea, both warmed by abundant sunshine.
Came down here in February and went out and played golf. And they didn't need to be bundled up. They didn't have to worry about snow and blizzards and sleet. You know, this was a paradise for them.
People named Collier, Griffin, Rosen, Ratner, Sanders, they saw potential to grow. They knew this area had timber for building. It had food, beef, and citrus, and the land could grow more almost year-round. The Gulf was rich with life for food and sport fishing. The region had massive deposits of limestone to crush into aggregate. It's the foundation for roads, homes, and other buildings. And it makes concrete. So the boom began.
There were very, very little in terms of environmental regulations. Basically, if you own the land at that point, you could do whatever you wanted to with it.
You wouldn't want to do that. Money wasn't always the end goal. It was doing the right things for future generations.
Paige Roush is a native of Southwest Florida. Her father was a Wink broadcast engineer who knew a lot of the pioneer developers. She says she would tag along with her dad, and at places like the Veranda in Fort Myers, saw how a handshake could buy or sell thousands of acres.
So your word was your bond, but a handshake was like a contract.
The actual legal document would be drawn up later. Roush has been in real estate her whole life and says it just made sense for landmen to gather at a now-closed bar in LaBelle. They would divvy up land Wild West style.
It was a game that they played called High Card Cut. And they had purchased a tremendous amount of property, and that was how they split the property up, was by using High Card Cut.
Did they care about what they were doing to the land? Probably not. Probably didn't think about it.
Journalist Glenn Miller has lived on the Gulf Coast nearly his entire life and is past president of the Southwest Florida Historical Society.
There's got to be a limit. How much more can the land take? How much more can the water take? How many more people can move here? And then how many more tourists can come here?
Shelton Weeks of the Lutgard College of Business at FGCU says sprawl should stop now because building into the center of the peninsula, 40 miles from the coast, could have significant environmental impacts.
I tend to favor looking at higher density as a pathway to growth that would, in my mind, involve fewer negative trade-offs than the sprawl model.
Paige Roush says Ben Hill Griffin III proved he wanted more than money by donating 760 acres, more than a square mile of land, for FGCU. Choosing a campus site came down to a Board of Regents meeting in 1992. Roush says other developers competed with Griffin.
He wanted to win, and he was a decision maker.
As chief executive of the Alico Corporation, Griffin made a bold move.
His decision was he was going to stand back up at that lectern and he was going to throw in not only the land for free, but he was going to give $1 million. And that was the deal sealer right there.
Later, Griffin donated millions more to build Alico Arena and to help pay for academic programs. How then do we judge those giants of the land?
They had a belief in this area and they wanted to be remembered, and they wanted to be remembered for doing good.
Yes, there was a profit motive, but at the end of the day, they were building communities that they felt they could be proud of.
Shelton Weeks says he's optimistic because environmental regulations are stronger now than even a few years ago, and most people view sustainability as a positive. For WGCU News, I'm Mike Walcher.